Hello, everyone. Hope you are having a lovely December. We are in the festive spirit here at the Balance Distribution Warehouse. My good friends on the Slack suggested that I wear a Santa hat for tonight, and I think it's fitting. I'm bringing gifts for all the good boys and girls. The naughty boys and girls will be receiving coal, and they'll have to skate very heavy skates that have a nice present tonight. Anyway, taking this off, wanted to get into the spirit. I do have the lights as green and red, but I realized that I am going to talk about some stuff that I want to share in the future, and I don't want to time code it, so it will be relevant for years to come. And I want to make sure that I am not looking like Santa Claus during the future. But it has been a great week. Starting to really slow down here, thankfully. All of the shops have gotten their orders. We're not shipping very much this week. We've got a few last minute orders that went out. I don't think any went out today, but went out yesterday, the day before, like last minute gifts. Mostly backpacks and wheels. It's kind of a nice stocking stuffer of sorts. I think a bag is a really good gift. Not a crazy price point either. We've been selling a lot of bags, so if you haven't seen the bags yet, you should definitely take a look. But I hope that you have a nice holiday planned. Here, we celebrate Christmas. My in-laws are coming in town, and they'll be here Sunday, I think. So we'll have a nice Christmas day with the in-laws, and my brother-in-law is going to be here as well. It will be really nice. Our first one we've had at home for a while. We usually go up to the cabin because it is closer to them, but we had sick pets, and we weren't able to leave this year. So we are staying at home. They are coming to visit us. It should be really nice. But I hope that you are having a nice planned holiday with your loved ones or friends or whoever, wherever you are, if you celebrate. Otherwise, have a great New Year. If we don't talk before then, I don't think I'll do another video until January. So this is kind of the wrap up of the year, the end of 2023. Hope to go out on a good note. Got some updates for you. Got some new stuff to share, and hopefully a new project that some of you will really enjoy, and a lot of you, I hope, will see as something that the community really needs. I think something that as we get more mature in our product lines, there's a lot of options for sustainability and reusability. And you've seen it with a bunch of different skates out there. And I hope that we can kind of set that standard so that things can be more approachable and more, I guess, reliable over the years. So if you buy something, you won't run out of parts. You'll be able to make your own, or you'll find somebody else who can supply them. And I really love that idea. I think that if you invest in something, you should be able to get support for a while. Even if the company goes out of business, not that we're going out of business, but even if they do, you should be able to find parts for it in the future. And this is something that we're very passionate about, and we will be doing everything we can to support. All right. Oh no, my connection is struggling, still stalling. I don't know what it is about this connection here, but I am just dropping frames left and right. What is going on? It is potentially my connection. Is it still buffering? What is going on? I do apologize. I don't know why I am getting this weird, really bad stream right now. It is just dropping and coming back and dropping and coming back. Let me, let's do this. Where is the Wi-Fi? Let me see if I can move it real quick to a better position. I will be back in 1 minute. Let me unplug this. I'll be right back. right. It looks like it's a little bit better now. It's still dropping. I wonder what's going on with my network. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Well, you know what? I'm going to make the most of it. I apologize if the stream is buckled tonight. Let me see if I can change the size. It hasn't been this bad. Huh. Yeah, it's the same everything that I've done. It's just like it's dropping left and right. And I don't know anything else to do to turn anything off. So let me turn off my phone and turn off my other computer. 1 second. All right, I think it's still bad. What's going on with my connection? It's bad from time to time, but it seems like it's just dropping left and right. I don't understand. And what should I do? Well, I don't really know. I don't know what the best thing to do. Give me a second. Let me see what stuff I have here. Maybe I can connect directly to the router. Let me see what I can do. Hold on. All right, I don't know that it's going to work tonight, guys. Does it look better? It looks like it's a little bit more consistent now. I'm watching the stream and it looks fairly consistent now. You know what? It's still dropping. All right, so I think I'm going to push it for a week. I'm sorry, but I don't want to go through all of this and not be able to have confidence that you can see what I'm talking about. So I think that's probably the best bet. Why don't we do this? Let's start. I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. You tell me how the stream is holding up. And if it's holding up okay, I will keep doing it. If it is not holding up okay, then you tell me. You tell me. Yes, I am using OBS. It looks okay right now. It's just that my connection keeps dropping. Just out of nowhere. Like right then it just dropped to nothing. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my network. I don't know what it could be. But why don't we do this? I'll just start talking. Before I get into the big stuff, what I will do is I'll check in and see how we're doing. If it is still a problem, then I will stop. We will do it either tomorrow or Friday or something. Otherwise, it looks like it's okay right now. So, all right, it looks like it's okay, and the stream looks okay. So, Oh, goodness. Internet. How can it be? Anywho, I hope everybody is doing well. I think we will do this. So I'm just going to start, and it looks pretty consistent right now. So knock on wood, it stays consistent. I will keep going. I will keep an eye open for it. If it stays good, that's great. I will ask further questions after I go through my current setup. And at that time, if it's still good, we will keep going. If it is bad, y'all be honest with me. If it is bad, let's just cancel, because I don't want to drop frames all night and y'all miss things. But it does look pretty consistent now. So I will just stay like this. I will not touch anything, and hopefully it will work well. Yes, everybody freeze. Thanks, Spook. Everybody out there, just don't move, and everything will be fine. All right, let's get started. This horrible pre-show, but it looks pretty good right now. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Gear Talk episode 124. Gear Talk is the show that I do every other week, where we talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. If you know the difference between a removable sole plate and a sole plate with a removable Royale groove, or a backslide plate, I guess that's what they called them, you've come to the right place. Gear Talk is the show where we talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. If you go out there and you skate and you care about what your skates are capable of, and you want to dial in that setup so that every time you go out there and skate, you have a really great session, this is the show for you. We're going to talk about weird things, about M6 bolts, about T25, about raised heels, about UFS 165 mount. Lots of stuff that you probably can't Google. This is a great opportunity to ask questions about things in rollerblading that you might not have answers to and might be difficult. You try using ChatGPT or one of the crazy AI systems and you ask this question, it's probably going to give you a good recipe for kale soup, but it's probably not going to help you with rollerblading. I am here to help you with rollerblading. If I don't know something, I'm really good at finding things, and I do my best to get answers for everybody. Before we get started, I want to thank my friends over at the Helmet Initiative for our helmet giveaway. Every episode I have so many friends who have fallen and hit their heads. I've hit my head, and it is one of the most preventable injuries that you can have in rollerblading. Head injuries can definitely change your life. And I don't want anybody out there to not skate because they're worried about falling and hitting their head. And I don't want anybody out there skating, falling and hitting their head and end up in a coma, end up in the hospital, not be able to skate anymore or even function anymore. Traumatic brain injuries can have a huge impact on your life. So let's wear helmets whenever we go out there and skate. My friends over at thehelmetinitiative.org, great organization that likes to help get people helmets. They replace helmets if they're broken. They get people helmets if they need them. They've sent me a few helmets that I'm able to give away. All you need to do is go to backtoblading.com/helmet. Backtoblading.com/helmet. Paste it in the chat. For a chance to win a helmet, all you need to do is put in your name and information and your contact information, and I will pick somebody at random and send them a helmet. Now, if you're in the US, we have a bunch of helmets to pick from. I will ask you what color you want. Of the available helmets, I'll get your size, and I will send it out. If you are outside of the US, instead of trying to send you a helmet, I will send you some money so that you can buy a helmet in your local currency. The way we get the money for that is we run ads on our channel, on the YouTube channel, and we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/backtoblading for more information. It's a great place to go if you just want to support the channel. A couple bucks a month really goes a long way. It adds up and it ends up helping keep the lights on here at the studio, as well as getting helmets out to people for shipping them and for giving them money if they're not in the US. Helmets are good. Very important that you wear a helmet. And if you want a helmet, it's important that you have access to a helmet. So thanks to our friends at thehelmetinitiative.org. Thanks for everybody out there who wears their helmet, goes out there and helps promote helmets. Safe skating is important. We want more skaters out there. We want skaters who are out there to skate longer. Very important that we're able to provide helmets to people. So thank you again. Backtoblading.com/helmet if you need a helmet. We'll be giving a free helmet to somebody at random tonight to make sure that everybody has access to a helmet. All right, let's talk about my current setup. So I was actually able to skate a little bit. It is the time of year where it starts to get really cold. My knees hurt. I was, woke up last night, I think, and my knee was just throbbing out of nowhere. I haven't skated in a week. Do normal, walk up and down the stairs, drive, things like that. But it's the change of weather. It happens every winter. My oldest daughter, started complaining that her knee just started hurting out of nowhere as well. Don't know what it is about the weather, but the cold is definitely not our friend. So I don't skate very much during the winter, especially as I've thrown up my back on numerous occasions trying to skate aggressive outside. I'm just old. I'm not used to this stuff. I do try to stretch. I do try to warm up. But thankfully, I have a lovely warehouse that has a mini ramp, and we use the mini ramp, the wide side of the mini ramp, the flat bottom. We have 2 quarter pipes on each end, and I put a grind box in the middle, and I'm able to skate back and forth and do some grinds. And I was able to do that this week, last weekend, I think it was, last Saturday. Really great opportunity just to go out there and practice grinds. It's been a while since I've skated here. It's been so busy. We've had a lot of boxes on the ramp, but I cleared all of that off. I was able to skate, and I was back skating flat on the standard Omni. So these are the standard Omni. This is the skates that I've been skating. Fullest of full disclosures, these are my skates. These are the skates that I designed. This is my company. I am very proud of these skates. This is a thing that we've been working on for years. They are finally in production. They are getting assembled next week. They started assembling this week. We should have them fully assembled next week. We'll see. The wheels are taking a little bit longer to get there than I had planned, but they are on their way. So we should have a good update for you, probably not this week, but next week, on the status of the Omni. The Omni is an aggressive skate. It's a big wheel skate. It is an all-around skate. I designed it for the way that I like to skate. So it gives really good support down low. The lacing area is nice and thin, which offers a nice chance for the laces to pull in the shell and really cinch your foot down, hug your foot down. I love that feeling. The inside is a flat boot with a a shock absorber for that lean, for that forward lean that you need, rather than most plastic boots, which are a raised heel, which means that the back area is taller, gives you that little forward lean that you need when you're skating. Instead of that, it's completely flat underneath here, has a shock absorber on the inside, makes it feel much more comfortable when you're skating. You get a little bit of cushion when you're skating on your heels. Feels really good. It's kind of the way that shoes are. You'll find that you're usually pushing down on your heel when you're walking. There's a lot more cushion in the back, a lot more absorption in the back. Similar concept here. You've got a big shock absorber in the back. It's 10 millimeters thick. So when you're skating, you come down off of a grind, you come off of a stair set or any gaps, or even just skating over bumpy terrain, that little bump, the shock absorber will suck up a lot of that bounce, and it'll feel much better on your heels, especially for when you're doing aggressive skating. But it works really well for big wheel skating as well. I've skated these with big wheels. They feel great. Skated them with 80s on the 72 frame. Really low ride. Felt really good. Cruising around. Nothing better than just putting wheels on your feet. I am skating them flat. These are the stock frames, the aggressive frames that come on the skates. I'm skating them flat with 58 millimeter chroma wheels. These are the same wheels that will be coming on the skates. So we do have the wheels here. Not all of the wheels. All of the wheels are at the factory. They actually left our wheel factory today, I think, yesterday, and they are on their way to the frame factory, to the boot factory now. But I have a few of them here. These are the wheels. So this is a 58 millimeter 90A wheel. It is a beautiful round profile. Single color graphic, 58 millimeter 90A. They don't come with 50/50 bearings. They come with standard bearings. They are an ABEC 9 greased bearing, double shielded. These are just the ones that I have on hand. So I put them in so that you can see what a bearing looks like with the wheel. The white wheels will come on the black skate by default. So this is what the black frame looks like. The black frame goes on the black boot, and you can see wheels look really cool. I love it when they spin. It just looks like a nice separation. It's a very good look. This is our aggressive frame. These are the anti-rocker wheels. You can see the wheels on the outside. 58 millimeter flat, that is a low ride. So this is designed for a lower center of gravity. Really, a stock frame in my eyes is for people who don't really know what they want. So we thought that a flat 58, maximum 58 millimeter wheel was the way to go. Nice rounded profile. Quality wheels is the same factory and the same pour that we use for all of our wheels. So 50/50, mushroom blading, compass, and chroma all use the same urethane. You can get them on the standard skate as a default. And then these are the white frames with the black wheels, which I absolutely love. I think the black looks really good. Fully customizable, so if you wanted to swap these, put the white frames on the black boot, you could, or black frames on the white boot with black wheels, you could. You can go on our website and customize them, or go to any of our launch partners and ask them to fix you up. Trying to make sure that we get the skates dialed in the way that you want them with colors, very important to us. So hopefully, by the time you are seeing me again, the skates will have shipped from the factory. That is the goal. We'll see if we can attain that goal. Assembly does take a while. We have a bunch of skates being made, I say, and it takes a while. The wheels left our factory. They are made in Korea. They're on their way to the factory in China. Hopefully, no issues with clearance of customs or importing or anything, and they should be here soon. But as soon as the wheels get there, that is the last thing to do. So they are assembling the cuffs, they're assembling the boots. They have all of the products poured, I think, all of the parts poured, I think. So now it's just putting them together. So putting the shock absorber in there, sliding the mounting plates in there, putting the sole plates on, all of that stuff needs to be done. It's a lot of work for as many skates as we have, but they're going as fast as they can. Timing-wise, it's really hard to predict how long it's going to take. I get updates almost every day on what they're working on. Until we have the wheels arrive, I probably won't have a very good ETA on when things will ship. When they get the wheels, they'll need to put the bearings in, they'll put the bearing spacers in. They're going to pack them in packs of 4 if you're not buying them as a complete. So we will have sets of 4 wheels for people who want to ride a flat setup. They'll come anti-rocker by default, but if you buy a flat setup, we'll throw an extra 4 wheels in your box so that you can swap them out really easily. Take the anti-rocker wheels off, put the other wheels on, and skate a nice flat setup. Hopefully we'll have a good update next week. It's really hard to say. Again, thanks for your patience with this assembly, and all of these little tweaks that we've had to make throughout the production process has taken a toll. It is a much more complicated process than just making some frames. I knew that going into it, but it's really hard to predict how long things are going to take. So again, thank you for your support and your patience. If you want more information, standardskate.co/news is the place to go. You just go to our website or go to our Instagram, click the link in our bio to go to our website. At the bottom of the page is a whole news section that shows the latest and greatest. And then you can find all of the archives to see what we've been working on. Again, thank you all so much for the support. Overblown by the amount of skates that we've been able to sell. There's a lot of people out there who are really curious what we've made. The team right now, they just got back from Cincinnati. They were out in Nashville a couple weeks ago. And they're coming, I think they have another trip planned for next week, I think. Next week? Yeah, end of next week. So we're trying to wrap up the video. That might be the last trip, and then they should have enough clips so they can start editing and get the video done. So fingers crossed that we have something nice to share with you at the end of January. That is our goal. As always, if you have questions about standard or anything else, please feel free to email me. I'd love to chat. If you've got an order that you need to change, let me know. Did I completely lose my internet? I'm just completely frozen tonight. Oh, this is so frustrating. But that is the way that it is sometimes. All right. I am frustrated with my internet connection tonight. I don't know what's going on, but my computer just keeps dropping, and I don't know why. So let's take a show of hands, because I don't want to waste everybody's time if it's just going to be jittery and gross tonight. It looked like it was going so well. I just looked down at the stream, and it was stalled out again. So if everybody is okay with the stalls and the freezes, that is fine. I will continue going. But I don't want to have the worst stream. I don't know how bad it is on your end. So let me know if it's worse or good or bad. I am seeing so much packet loss. It's like 25% drop frames, which is crazy. But that is the way it is. People are saying that it's okay, keep going, that they've seen worse. So thank you for that. If you've seen worse, then we're good. As long as you can hear me, I think that will be fine. It looks like I need to do some network upgrades here because something is definitely wrong. I don't know if it's my connection to the internet or what, but I don't think it's my computer. So, all right, I will keep going. I thank you so much for the support, and I apologize for it working. If it works okay for the, why don't I do this? Let me record. I'll start recording, and then I can update it. So as a recording, at least it will get the high quality for me, and then I'll be able to upload it later if there's anything important that you need at a higher quality. But there we go. All right. I think we're in good place. So long as the audio, Joe, I see that. The audio, if the audio is stable, then that's okay. I don't have a way to turn down my bit rate right now. I don't think it's that high, but something is definitely wrong with my connection. I don't think it's my software, but for whatever reason, it is what it is. It is not Ethernet, Zach. I appreciate that. I do need to run an Ethernet cable to it. It might be interference with my wireless. We had an internet issue a couple weeks ago, and I had to rewire a few things. So it's possible that things got moved around. I will start plugging directly into the network after this fiasco, but we will see how it goes. All right. Talked about my current setup. Not sure what I'm going to be skating next. I would really like to try out those Mars blades that I got. It is cold outside and it's only getting colder, so I'm looking for a time to go out there and skate them. Probably do a little bit more in the warehouse, maybe another session, maybe skate the mini ramp. It's been a while since I've skated the mini ramp here. We do plan on having an open house, so if you are in the neighborhood or if you are interested in coming out to Durham for a weekend, we're going to have an open house next Saturday. That is the, what is it, the 30th? Yes, the 30th. So Saturday the 30th, we're going to have an open house, kind of like a celebrate the end of the year. It's been a big year for us, and we're all off work. At least most of us are off work. So I'm going to have everybody over that wants to come over. We'll have the mini ramp ready for skating. If it is dry outside, we'll bring the boxes out so that we can skate the boxes in the parking lot. We will also have standard Omni for you to try on. Now, I only have the large and the extra large liners, but I will have the shells for the small, medium, large, and extra large. So all 4 of the shells I have on hand, and I will have them available so that you can try them on. I recommend that you bring your liners if you're interested in what they will feel like. And I'll also preface this by saying that the small and the medium have a slight fit issue that they caught during the sampling process. Not something that we're going to see during production, but I don't have the final production skates. These were the first samples, so they rushed them a little bit. It was more like a proof of concept. This is what they should look like, but they don't fit quite perfectly yet. This is most noticeable around the ankle. So if you come out and you try them on and the liners fit perfectly and the length is great, the width is great, but you're having a little bit of tightness around the ankle, that is totally normal. It will be wider in production. For whatever reason, these samples were rushed, so they didn't have the time to cool properly, and they didn't get into our jig for opening up and keeping that shape up top. I'm telling you this because I want you to feel good about the Omnis. They are great skates. They fit great. This isn't a great representation of the small and the medium, but I did want to invite everybody over. The length is going to be perfect. The width is going to be perfect. So if you put your foot in there, you'll be able to feel what the Omni are going to feel like. They won't be skatable. We won't have the comfort liners for small and medium. I do have them for large. I do have them for extra large. So if those are your sizes, come on by and you can try them on. It will be probably opening up our doors around 10 o'clock on Saturday, probably closing up shop around 3. So midday skate. I don't want to stay too late. If you plan on coming and you can't get here until later, let me know. I will stick around, but I'd like to, 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours, nothing too crazy, but I would like to have an opportunity for people to stop by. Since it is kind of a holiday time, I am not working that week, so I have a little bit of time to do stuff that I need to do throughout the week, and then on Saturday I'll have time for a little skating, a little fun. So Saturday, December 30th, starting at 10 a.m., probably go until, let's say, 4 p.m. Come on by the warehouse. You can get all the information at balancedist.com. There's a Visit Us link where you can see a map to get to the warehouse. We're in Durham, North Carolina. Feel free to message me on the Back to Blading account if you need directions or if you want to make sure that I'm going to be here. We will post all of this information on Friday about the open house the following week. So 2 days from now, we'll have a post sharing with everybody. But really looking forward to seeing people. If you need to pick anything up, obviously we'll be here. We'll have everything on display so you can see the skates, try the skates on, see the frames, see the wheels, and then see all of the other brands that we represent. Should be a really nice time. I love having open houses and really plan on doing this more often now that we have something that you actually have to try on. It's kind of weird to think, holding a frame, you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to be like, but everybody knows if they need a 250 or a 270, right? Wheels, they look great. You hold them and you're like, oh, this is cool, but if you need 58 millimeter or if you need 60 millimeter or if you need 100 millimeter or whatever. This is a little weird. So actually having a place that you can try things on, really looking forward to that. Open house this next Saturday, December 30th from 10 to 4 at the Balance Distribution Warehouse in Durham. All right. Last but not least, so this is something that something a little new that I've never done before. We've been doing with 50/50. We've been doing a lot of releases of signature model frames over the last couple of years. I love doing products for our riders. We don't have the sort of industry now that I feel, at least from my financials, can support a salary for skaters. I would love to, give the skaters a few $100 a month so that they can pay their cell phone bill or whatever from us, but I just can't afford it. One way that we are able to help our riders is, we help them with product, obviously, but we also help them with travel. We try to do a big trip every year. We will take care of their travel. We will take care of event fees. We will take care of things that, it's flights and hotels and stuff like that. We do what we can with that. But the main thing that team riders can get a little bit of money from is signature products. And we do frames for 50/50. We do wheels for Chroma. It's a nice way to do a thank you for our riders. And it's a product that they get to work on. They pick out the colors, they pick out the graphics, they pick out what it's going to look like, which one it's going to be, and it's a thing that represents them. They can put on their wall and it's like, this was mine. And I absolutely love doing things like that. We started with 50/50 doing a small 3D printed, 3D rubber stamp patch. That was the way that we did the first Balance frames. And we did one for Stefan and we did one for John Fromm. And I absolutely love those. When we brought out the prime frames, We had another one for John. We had one for Chris Farmer. We had one for Sasha Lopez. We've had one for Chad Tannehill. We've done a few different prime frames. And over the years, the way that instead of using a rubber patch on the frame, we've started printing, screen printing directly onto the product. So a frame would have a big logo across the middle with the rider's name and, you know, some sort of a graphic that represents them. And I absolutely love this. I love that you can look down and you can have what the rider, like a snapshot in time of what the rider was all about. I heard from a bunch of people, especially this year as our logos got a little bit bigger. I heard from a lot of people that they love the frames, they want to support the rider, but they aren't a big fan of the huge graphic on the side of the frame. And I never really considered that. You know, I like to be pretty transparent on Gear Talk. I never really considered that. And we want to make sure that, first of all, that the riders get, you know, paid for their product. And we don't sit on inventory, right? But secondly, if somebody wants a frame that is the right color, but the graphic is just too much, or maybe the graphic clashes with the rest of their setup, we want to make sure that they still have an opportunity to buy that frame. If they want that frame to finish up their setup, let's make sure that they have an opportunity to buy it. So we've been working on a process that allows us to get rid of the logo on the signature frames, keeping the quality of the frame intact. It just removes the printed graphic on the logo, on the frame. And we're going to start offering them with no logos. Now, what does that mean? So let me show you what a few of the frames look like. So a good example is Yandi's frame, Yandril Savaro. Do I have the actual one? I can't reach it. So a good example is Yandril's frame. It is a green frame with a lovely print on the side. Actually, let me get it. I'm going to unplug real quick so that you can see it. Hold on just a second. All right. Ugh. All right. Here we are. So this is Yandi's frame. So this is his signature frame. It is a nice, like army green, almost forest green. It is a big print on the side. His signature chroma wheels come with it on his bundles. Some people didn't want the graphic on the side. Totally get it. It's nothing against Yandi, but maybe it doesn't fit with their style. So what we're doing is we're going to offer the frames with no graphics. So this is the same frame, it just has the graphics removed. So it is now just a clean green frame without any graphics on the side. Now, the rider is still going to receive their full royalty. So for balance frames, the rider receives $5 for every pair of frames sold, regardless where you buy them. If you buy them from a shop, if you buy them direct from us, they make $5 for every pair sold. For prime frames, so this is Sasha Lopez's frame. For prime frames, they make $10. It's a little bit more expensive frame, a little bit higher margins. They make $10 for every pair of prime frames. Even if they are sold with no logo, they will continue to make $5 for the balance frames and $10 for the prime frames. It's important to us that the frame color is more of a distinction for the rider. The logo might be a little too much. And I love the logos again. A lot of people love the logos. Some people don't. And I don't want to limit people's buying options because they aren't a fan of the logo. So a couple other colorways. You saw Yandi's frame. This is the green frame. Yandi's frame, no logo. This is the John Cooley frame. Just came out with this one. This is the yellow John Cooley frame. This is the Scott Crawford frame. with no logo. We're also doing it with prime frames. So this is we still have a few of these left, not very many. This is the Chris Farmer frame. So this is the charcoal prime walls from the Chris Farmer frame. We've removed the logo and we've got the black cores from the Chad Tannehill frame. So this is a limited run because we only have a few amount of these black cores and only have a few of these, maybe a couple dozen of the Chris Farmer frames left. All that you'll need to do if you're interested in those, go to the website and you'll just be able to select a frame that doesn't have the logo. It will still represent the writer. It will still get the writer their royalty. Nothing changes there. We want to make sure that people can support their writers without having to hesitate because maybe they don't like the logo combination. Totally get it. Something that we didn't really consider was ever going to be an issue. The frames by themselves look amazing. And I feel that this will allow you to ride the frames on any setup that you want a lot easier. You don't have to make all of the colors match. You can just have whatever the color of the frame is, that's the one that will fit on whatever UFS skate you got, and you'll be able to support that rider and get the frames that you want without having to worry about coordinating. Anyway, so this will be available starting this weekend. You'll be able to get them in shops if they want them. We will send an email out to shops if they're interested. Not much else to say, but again, thanks for all the feedback. I think ultimately we did this because people asked. You know, they were saying, you know, I really like the John Cooley frames, but I don't like the black logo on the side. Okay, like let's get you the John Cooley frames without the black logo on the side. It's really easy for us to remove those graphics, make sure that John still gets his royalty, still supporting John, but now you get the frame the way that you want it. All right, is that all the things here? Yes, all right. I think that's everything. Let me throw these down because I am running out of room over here. One more. All right. So let's take some questions. There might be some questions out there. I know that the stream is a little sketchy tonight. I apologize for that. I'm going to try to get it better for next time. Let's scroll to the top, see if there's any questions. If you are watching this in the future, I recommend that you leave a comment in the video. I'm really good at answering questions in comments. I read all of the comments on the videos. I get a lot of comments on some of the older videos, which is really interesting. I'm always curious how people find the videos. But I want to make sure that if you have a question, some weird random rollerblading question, you got somebody that can help you get that answer that you're looking for. If, again, you're watching this live, make sure that you tag Back to Blading on your comment so that it shows up in orange. It's a little hard for me to see with all the text flying by. But if you're in the future, leave a comment in the video and I will definitely read it and write back as soon as I can. All right. First question, Jordan Skates. Loving my standard shirts, much better fit than Gildan. Yes. Thank you for clarifying, Jordan. Yes, love the standard shirts. This is a Fitty Fitty shirt. This is a Gildan. I like these shirts. But my frame might be more, like I can also skate Majestic 12s. I might not be the most normal body fit. People have told me I have a very European style to me. Not sure what that means. Did take French in high school, so maybe there's something there. But yes, I do like the Gildan shirts. They are a lot more cost-efficient shirt, but the standard shirts, just like the Chroma shirts, we use the Comfort Colors blanks. They are a lot more expensive, but they are a lot nicer. So I'm glad that you like them. Thank you for letting me know. True Skeet, howdy long and friend. Hey sir, great to see you again. Hope you get to come down for Crowder. That's probably the next time I'm going to see you. I probably won't make it up there before April, but hope to see you down here for Crowder. It would be nice to visit again. Dreaded Roller, I sent you an email about my lost prime core. If you haven't seen it yet, just got home from work. Know if you answered yet or not. I haven't answered yet. I do have your core here though. It was a 290 if I recall correctly. I set it aside. It's been a bit of a busy afternoon. I actually, unfortunately, was driving and got a rock that hit my windshield on Saturday. And it scared the hell out of me because it was at night and it was raining, and then rock came. Small crack turned into like a long crack, so I got my windshield replaced today. So I lost a few hours of productivity today, unfortunately, but I do have your stuff and I will send it out tomorrow. So you should have another core, hopefully by Christmas, if not beginning of next week. All right. Keep on playing. iRollerboot has also been struggling. Maybe the US internet is just screwed up. Potentially. I see my stream bitrate and it's jumping all over the place. It's supposed to be 3K KB per second. And I have a pretty sustained connection here at the warehouse. It's not great, but it can sustain 3 KB. And for whatever reason, this is not working. So bad stream night. I will plug in next time. I will do some internet tests tomorrow and see if I can figure out what the heck's going on. But I've isolated the problem to just this laptop and this connection. It is not any other laptop. Maybe they're having bad connection issues too, but I don't know. It's hard to troubleshoot at night right before the show. But I'll get it tomorrow, and then in the beginning of the year, January, I should have this all fixed. They are putting in Google Fiber in our neighborhood, so hopefully that will help. Ravis pathogen, the audio is good. It's just the video. Got it. So long as the audio is okay, at least you can hear me. I am recording this stuff locally now, so I should be able to upload the important stuff directly to the channel. So I will definitely do that afterwards. Pablo Skates, does the 1 week delay mean late January now? Yeah, probably. So it takes 2 weeks to get from the factory to the port in Long Beach. And we are doing some expedited shipping to get them to shops. So funny enough, if you're on the West Coast, you might get your skates before I get my skates. So they are made in China. They come over on a boat. And then after they hit the boat, they are going to ship directly from the warehouse. So we're paying a little bit more to get this expedited shipping. As soon as they get to the port, they get to the distribution warehouse, and then they get shipped directly from UPS, using UPS, directly to, stream died again, directly to the shops. So if you order from Roller Warehouse, you'll probably get them first. If you're outside of the US, you might get them even earlier. Definitely if you're in Asia, you'll get them pretty quickly. I don't know how quickly Loco and This Is Seoul are going to get theirs. I don't know what shipping method they're going to take, but hopefully end of January is our goal. Worst case, beginning of February, but realistically it's probably end of January. It all depends on how assembly goes the next couple of weeks. Pablo Skates, thanks for including the big wheel sole plate in the 3D printing kit by default. Awesome idea. What material should I print them in if I have no intention to grind? It's an excellent question. I am a big fan of PLA Plus. We use eSun brand PLA Plus. That's what we use for all of our frames. It holds up really nicely to grinds, but it's also a very strong material for 3D printing, and it's not as finicky. Temperature moderation, humidity moderation is less important with PLA Plus. If you're using a different material like a nylon, you really got to dial in that temperature and humidity when you're printing. Otherwise, you will get some shrinking and warping when it cools. That's not something that I've ever had to really worry about with PLA Plus. So definitely PLA Plus is the way to go. We will have more information about that coming soon. So stay tuned 10 minutes from now and we will have more information about it. Jeremy, I guess you could say I'm Omni curious. Well, I would say a lot of things about you. Yes, cannot wait to make a skate your size. It will change your life. I hope, for the better. Zach Markham, depending on how old your computer is. Oh yeah, we talked about this one, the Ethernet port. It's not even using Ethernet right now. So I need to definitely hardwire. I have the Ethernet coming out the wall already. Just need to actually get the USB-C to Ethernet adapter so that I can plug in potentially a longer cable. I don't think it's long enough, but I will have that for next show, guaranteed. Keep on blading. I'd love to come by the warehouse, but it's a bit far from New Zealand. I get it. Someday you might be able to. We are having a big event in April, the Crowder Power event, April 20th in Raleigh. We will have an open house here at the warehouse for people to come by, skate, check out the products, check out the skates, all that stuff, and just visit. It's a really good opportunity to hang out with skaters. Less pressure, no competitions, nothing like that. So if you are interested in coming out to visit the U.S., North Carolina is a beautiful place to visit. I know it is a bit of a hike for New Zealand, but it is worth it. Mr. Darren 25, I hope you get time to try out the Mars Plays. I recently tried gutting my old roller hockey skates and fitting them with Intuitions, and they feel great. I recommend sizing up though. That's interesting. I've never even considered gutting them. I haven't tried on the Mars Blades yet, but I do hope to skate them, if not this week, next week, because I'll have a little bit of downtime, so I'll be able to sneak away. It's hard, you know, end of the year, work is actually pretty chill, but trying to make sure that everything gets wrapped up before the end of the year is a little tricky. But I do have time off between Christmas and New Year, and the whole week of New Year I'm off, so I'm planning on skating a lot if I can find some warmer days. I will report back. About what I think is cool. It's about what the customers think is cool. And it's important to me that we provide a product that everybody likes. You know, it's not something that, I don't know. I mean, we make good products. And if the reason why somebody isn't going to buy a product is because the logo is too big on the side of the product, let's just remove the logo. You know, it doesn't take away from the, you know, the skater's notoriety or the ability of the skater to make money. It's still their frame. So we just want to remove the logo so that it's a little easier to fit into your setup. Yeah, we'll probably do something like this in the future as well. Maybe have, you know, the two options, maybe revisit the logo situation in the future. I don't know. I mean, we're always changing ideas. We got to try new things to see what works. And yeah, again, the feedback is always appreciated, not only from our writers, but from customers, what you want to see in your products. Because we make good products, we just don't always make them the way that you want them. Right, is that it? Oh, a couple more. Dolphin Uppercut Avenger, many aquatic blessings. Thank you, Dolphin. Question, would it seriously affect the structural integrity of the standard if one had to Dremel into the boot, not the sole plate, for wheel clearance? Why would you want to Dremel into my boot? Would it be a problem? I don't think it would be a problem if you Dremeled into the boot. I don't know that you would ever need to, though. If, you know, we've tested with no sole plate and it works great. If you're looking for an even lower ride height, I don't know that it's worth potentially, you know, damaging things just to get a lower ride height. I think, you know, we're talking about a few millimeters at most. The shell itself, I think, is 8 millimeters thick on the base. Is that right? I think that's right, 8 millimeters thick. So you're not really saving very much. I mean, I wouldn't want to go any lower. I think where we're at right now is probably best. You could definitely try it. I mean, Dremel until your heart's content. But I probably wouldn't. I would probably just, whatever the lowest of the base is, you know, find some frames that fit up to that without wheel, you know, over the top of the frame. And that would probably be it. We have tested with Compass 80s on 80 millimeter frames, and they're great. No sole plates. Haven't had any issues, and they feel super responsive. So I would recommend that setup if you're trying to get the lowest ride possible. But if you want to go even lower, I mean, knock yourself out. Aeon style, I don't know. I mean, you do you, you know, whatever works for you, they're your boots. But report back, definitely, if you end up doing it. Let me know how it works out for you. Ravenous Pathogen, I just got my NR100 Wizards, and they are amazing. You should look into 110s for if and when you decide on getting Wizard frames. 110's a big frame. I think that length is a bit ridiculous for me. You know, my foot is 28.5 centimeters. So the 4x100s, probably where I want to be for a Wizard. Even the 4x90s are like the perfect balance for me. So 110s, I mean, either you have a big frame, a big foot, or you're just cruising, because that's a lot of charge that you can put on that big wheel. I do need to get some NR 100s, so I keep saying that. I need to save up a little bit and get some. A lot of expenses right now, but hopefully I'll be able to afford them pretty soon. Maybe I'll get some for Christmas. Maybe somebody's listening out there. Rygar, glow-in-the-dark frames, please. I mean, those Robbie Pitts ones are pretty gnarly. I don't know if we have any glow-in-the-dark materials that would hold up. A lot of good questions for the factory, though. They do make glow-in-the-dark wheels, right? I mean, they make light-up wheels. I don't know that the urethane's very good, but there might be an option out there. I'll look into it. Right, are we good? One more question from Pablos. Can you ask all retailers to sell 76 and 80 millimeter mushroom weighing wheels in packs of 10? We do direct. What we don't do is dictate what the shops do. We sell mostly in packs of 8. So if you want, we do sell 2 packs. So what you could do if you're in the US or even outside of the US, it might be pretty cheap to import. Buy yourself an 8-pack from your shop, support your shop, but then get a 2-pack from us. And you can get any of our wheels, usually as a single wheel, but we do offer 2 packs as an individual item. We sell a lot of them as 80s, a lot of 5x80 out there, a lot of 5x76 out there. So definitely look into that if you're interested. Send me an email if you need to. If you're outside of the US, let me know, and I can happily email a shop and see if they can support you if you're not getting anywhere. Also, just email your shop, see if they can help you out. We're pretty good relationship with most of our shops, so if they give you any stress about it, let me know, and I'm more than happy to reach out and see if they can bend the rules a little bit for you. All right, I think we're good with questions. Let's talk a little bit about sole plates. So, best place to begin. So, I've been passionate about rollerblading for many, many years. And less about the art of rollerblading. I do love skating, and I love learning new tricks, and I love pushing myself. It's one of those freedom feelings that you get when you have wheels on your feet and you can go wherever you want. You can go very fast. You can jump on rails. You could slide on ledges. You can do spins and things that you wouldn't normally be able to do with your shoes, unless you have Epic shoes, I guess, or soap shoes. But it is I'm more interested in the gear side. I've always wanted to know why things work the way that they do. And dialing in my setup is one of those things that I really enjoy. And I think a lot of people get hooked on blading for many different reasons. The gear is one of those reasons. And there are a lot of people out there who have dozens of pairs of skates, and they just love collecting skates because they want to know what they feel like. They want to know what different boots feel like, what the liners feel like, how they grind. The act of grinding it's something that once you unlock those basic grinds, it really is, I would probably equate it to like surfing, where you just got this level where you can jump on things, and it's unlike any other feeling that you get on, running. Like, you don't run when you're out doing track and field or something like that, or jogging, and grind something. There's that feeling that you get when you're grinding on something. It's like going down a slide. It's really fun. And I've always loved that feeling. There's a few aspects of an aggressive skate that help with and refine how your grind feel. Aside from the wheel profile that you're riding, the most important thing probably is the frames that you're riding. And I started with designing frames way back 98, 99, I think, is when I started designing frames. The frame of your skate is probably the part that does the most heavy lifting. It holds your wheels, it provides a stable base so that when you're skating you have a nice solid foundation for skating. You can adjust the width of the frame, you can adjust the height of the frame, and it can really change the way that your skating feels. So for me, frame is it changes the way your ride feels. The sole plate is the other piece of material that you grind on. So you grind on the frame and then you grind on the sole plate. The sole plate, in my eyes, is what optimizes the grind. So you can probably do frontside grinds on any frame out there. I've seen people do frontside grinds on frames that don't even have a groove. They just do them on their wheels. The frame doesn't really get impacted on that. It's the sole plate that really takes, in my eyes, really takes the beating and defines how good a skate is for grinding. And I've always been fascinated by sole plates. You know, back in 97, I think, 50/50 released the Juice system, which was the first aftermarket optimized, machined out of UHMW sole plate frame system that was an aftermarket upgrade for skates that were on the market at the time. And ever since skating the Juice system, I'd been hooked and asked, well, why does it work like this? Why does it work like that? Coming back to blading in 2017, I didn't really think about it much after I left. I was more interested in frames, stability, what frames you could make. The reason why is that frames were universal, let's say universal. Because of the UFS system, any frame that you get that is UFS compatible can fit on any boot that is UFS compatible. So you design one frame, and this frame can fit on any boot out there. UFS is the frame standard that we use. It is 167 millimeters from one bolt to the other bolt. It uses 2 bolts to mount to the frame. 167 millimeters. It is 20 millimeters wide in this base area. It is a 3 millimeter deep nub area. It uses an M6 bolt, which is a 6 millimeter hole in there. And then it has a 41 millimeter, no wider than 41 millimeter channel. So those are the basic specs for a UFS frame. Really simple to find a UFS frame out there. Most aggressive boots are UFS compatible, so any frame that you make will fit on any UFS boot. And that is a huge market. There are plenty of skates out there that are UFS. Not even skates that are aggressive sometimes use UFS. So I've always been passionate about frames. It was the easiest way to enter. But to make the biggest grinding impact, the sole plate is really the piece of hardware that you want to optimize, in my opinion. So when I started working on the Omni, we worked really closely with the team to dial in this sole plate. So this is the standard Omni. And you can see this is the sole plate that we've designed for the Omni. It is a nice wide sole plate, but it's not too wide. It is got a nice pocket groove, not too wide of a groove, not too deep of a groove. Catches you really nicely on Royals. The base comes off, so this is what the sole plate looks like. You can see the bottom of the sole plate has that recess area, like the frame being 41 millimeters. It is 41 millimeters wide, so you can slide any frame in there. It is UFS, so it has these nubs, a little less than 3 millimeters tall to fit any frame that is compatible with UFS. Has the M6 bolt, the 6 millimeter hole in the middle so that the bolts can slide through. And it is 20 millimeters in the diameter so that you can mount those nubs in, and it will fit any frame out there. Any UFS frame will fit the standard Omni sole plates out of the box. You don't have to do anything else for it. This sole plate took 3 months to design, and we worked on it probably every day. And we did 3D prints, and we put it on skates, and I took pictures, and I did renders until we could come up with what I feel is an extremely optimized sole plate. You can see the look down. It is very minimal, but It is still a nice wide sole. You have no problems locking on this thing. Even the negative, you should have no problems locking on. If you're good at negatives, you're going to love these skates. While designing the Omni, we had the idea that because we wanted to make sure that more people could get involved with designing sole plates, there's been, in the last 4 years maybe, a very heavy DIY movement in rollerblading, where people have come up with ways of making products that fit on their skates that improve their skates. Now, we did this way back in the day with 50/50. We had a line called Solutions, where we would look at skates on the market and say, what would make them better? And we would make little parts. We would make these UHMW, they were called wings. And we would put the wings on the base of Solomon skates. And that would be a way that you could prolong your skates. You could make your soles a little bit wider, a little bit faster. You can see an example of those with Slicks now, is a company that makes similar products for the USD Aeon. We wanted to make sure that it was easy for people to make upgrades to the standard Omni. It's not just a skate that you buy and when it wears out, you throw it away and you get a new one. This is a skate that you can invest in. I was very interested in this back when we designed the prime frames. So the prime frames, these are the frames from 50/50. Again, back to frames where I kind of got my start and really honed my design skills and what stuff I liked in rollerblading. The prime frame is a UFS frame which features a removable plastic wall on an internal aluminum structure. So on the inside, you have this. This is the core that's inside the prime frame. And then you can see the plastic, this blue is the plastic wall. This is a glass-filled nylon that you slide onto this core. And then using the first axle and the last axle, it mounts to the core. And it creates a really solid foundation for anything you want to throw at it. All aggressive skating is amazing with these frames. We open sourced this design. So this core is open source. You can download the files from our website. You can print out your own cores at home without any purchase. Print out the cores at home and then design your own plastic wall that will fit on the cores. We sell these cores aftermarket. They're called a developer kit, where you can get a set of cores with all of the hardware that you need to skate. So you can use an aluminum core that is extremely strong, not going anywhere. It will support you when you're skating, and you can design your own walls. So this is a 3D printed wall. This is a wall made by a guy named Tom. The company is Hexy. And this frame fits on this core. And now you can put wheels on it, you can put axles on it, and you can put this on any UFS boot, like the standard Omni. And it will lock right in. You can go out and skate. So it's the same design as the ones that we sell, but this is a 3D printed wall that you can have whatever design you want. So if you are a technical guy or a technical girl out there who has an idea for a frame, you can go to our website, you can download the files, you can open them in your favorite 3D rendering program. You can come up with a frame using our tools and our models and print it at home and go out there and put it on your cores and go out there and skate. It is a great way to test out new designs, new grooves. We used it for developing some of our frames. I know other companies have used it for developing other frames. It is much cheaper and faster than having a full frame printed that is production quality, or investing in a mold to learn that the groove isn't great. Use the core system. You can go out there, design it for the core, put your walls on there, give it a ride, and see what they feel like. We wanted to do the same thing with the Omni. So we didn't want to stop at frames. We wanted to make it easy for people to develop their own sole plates. There are a lot of aftermarket sole plates out there. We want to make sure that we are helping out that community so that you can design sole plates that will fit on the Omni without any excessive work, without doing any 3D scanning or anything like that. We want to make sure that it's easy for designers to go out there and try things out. So tonight we're announcing the Omni Developer Kit. This is a new repository that we will have on our website probably this weekend, that you'll be able to download 3D model files, throw them in your favorite 3D rendering application, export them to a 3D printer, and you'll be able to print out your own sole plates that will fit the standard Omni perfectly. Now, why is this more complicated than a frame? Well, first of all, a frame can easily be made using a two-dimensional base. So this, you can see, is really just two different sides. So you've got this side, and you say, okay, it's got a flat plane, completely flat, and all I'm going to do is say I start with a block of wood, right? Consider you've got a block of wood. How would you make this frame? Well, first of all, let's cut the wood like this, and then let's drill a couple holes, right? And then let's turn the wood this way, and let's say, okay, we're going to run a channel in the middle and a couple little channels up top, okay? And then turn it this way, and then I'm going to cut a few holes in the middle, and then I'm going to drill a hole so that the thing will mount. And that is designing a frame. Really simple to do. You've got 3 different bases, faces that you need to model. And then when you design your actual frame, you can use that base and create all your contours, create your recesses, things like that. What we wanted to do with the Omni kit is make it as easy as possible for you to design. This is a much more complicated part. You can see all of the angles. There is nothing flat on here except for the base itself. Everything else is an angle. You can see through this print, you can see the lines where the printer printed. You can see that those are all different contours. That is very difficult to render if you don't have a key, if you don't have a tool that tells you where everything should go, what the lines should look like, etc. So with the developer kit, not only are you going to get a sample sole plate that you can use for each of the sizes of frames, or each of the sizes of boots. This is a fully skatable sole plate. You can print this at home. It is completely compatible with the Omni. So if you look at the bottom, it lines up with our holes perfectly. It is UFS. Easily put a frame on there. Slides right on. Frames backwards. But you know what I mean. And if you wanted to, you could just print this frame, this sole plate, and have yourself a very slim sole plate on your standard Omni. If you don't plan on doing any grinding, if you don't need a sole plate, if you don't need a groove for royales, this is a minimal sole plate. It is 2.5 millimeters thick, 3 millimeters in a few areas. It is as skinny as you can get. So this is like the bare minimum that you need for a sole plate. The bottom has wheel recess areas. It's got a 2 millimeter recess in the back, a 2mm recess in the front. That's so that if you want to write a wish frame or something like that where the wheels go above the frame, you'll need that. And then it's got the open areas, which is kind of the Omni thing. A few other brands that do that, but we open up this area so that you can see the base of your sole, because it's kind of nice to look and look at the graphics on the bottom of the Omni. It has the 4 sole plate mounts. So these are 45mm apart with the UFS in the middle. These are as skinny as can be. So the bolts that we use are custom bolts. You can buy them, compatible ones. They use an M6 head. It is 10mm wide. It is 2mm thick. So this head is only 2mm. And then it's 14mm thread. So 2mm head means that with this bolt, you need this recess to be 2mm if you want it to be flat. So 2mm for the recess if you want it to be flat into the frame channel itself. And then you want that area to be at least 3mm thick so that the bolts don't pull through the sole plates. We've found that 3mm is the minimum that we recommend for the sole plate for this to mount directly to the boot. That means that this sole plate needs to be at a minimum 5mm thick. If you want to do a recessed area for the sole mounting bolts, you need 2mm for the head, 3mm for the sole plate so that it will pull down. That's 5mm. That is the minimum that you should have when you're designing your sole plates. And that is the minimum that we use for this. You can make them thicker. These stock sole plates are 8mm, so they're thicker. They offer the same recess area, but a little bit more thickness for when the bolts move in. Why did we do that? We wanted a little bit more thickness so that there was a little bit wider groove. You'll find all these fun numbers when you're designing your sole plates, but we wanted a little bit wider groove and a little thicker material so that you didn't grind through your soles as quickly. You can do that with this. So you can make this area a lot taller if you wanted. You could make it 8mm thick if you wanted to. This is the bare minimum. If you have a design for a sole plate and you want to just make it fit on the Omni, we are also offering for each size of shell, on top of, in addition to the sole plate itself, the minimum sole plate, we have our tool. So this is the base tool. You can see this is what the base of the skate looks like. This is the, you could take off this. This is just the support in the front. But you can see the support in the front, and it's the line that goes like this, whoosh, up and then over. So this is where that base is. The bottom of the base follows the bottom of the sole perfectly. So we took this directly from the file. You can get the perfect contour. These 6 nubs, posts, are for putting into your model, sit it into your model, and then do a, what is it called? Reversive combine. So you'll exclude this model from your model, which means if you design your sole plate and you put this model in there, it will not fit because it is a perfect match. It might fit closely, but it's close. This is the base of the boot. So you will put this in there, the bolts will line up perfectly. Remove this from your model, and what you will have left is this cavity that not only has a perfect area for the boot, but it also has a perfect area for the UFS mounts. So you can adjust that around, you can move it forward, move it backward so that you can align your groove properly. But this is the tooling that you need to do whatever you want. Use this tooling, you can expand off of this tooling. You can just drop this tooling in something that you've already got lofts, create your object, create your body, throw this in there, do a exclude, and then you'll have an open area that has the mounts already. Recess them for your bolts. Add your UFS mounts so that you've got the nub so that you can add the channel, and then you should be well on your way to having a skatable sole plate that you can print and try out. Both of these objects will be available hopefully this weekend. We're starting with the large. I'm going to then do the extra large because I happen to have both of those skates on hand. I will have the small and the medium next week, so hopefully I'll be able to get started on those on Monday, maybe Tuesday because Monday's Christmas. But I will start on those next week. The repo that we are posting to on GitHub will be updated with those files as I get them. I also encourage you to give me feedback. So we've worked with a few developers on this project, getting it up to speed. I don't know everything, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you as much information as you need to design your sole plates. We are not looking to create a store out of this. We're not looking to make money on this. What we're trying to do is encourage designers out there to come up with their own designs, just like we created a base with the core system for designers to flex and practice their skills. We are creating a base with the Omni. Anybody can go out there, buy a shell, $160 shell only, and then try out whatever sole plate design you want. Put it in there. Maybe you move the groove around a little bit. Maybe you have a wider sole. Maybe you have a more narrow sole. Maybe you have a thinner area. Whatever you can come up with, you can design, you can print, and you can do. As we go through this process, please keep us posted. We would love to share your designs on our socials. We won't be doing a shop. We will have potentially some sole plates that we design that will be available for aftermarket that we'll print for customers. But this is really just a way to help the community, the developer community, so that you don't have to go through the hard work. I know you're going to make sole plates for it anyway. I want to make sure that your sole plates are as optimized as they can be without doing as much, while doing as little work as possible. We're going to give you the stuff that's usually difficult to get. I think this tool itself, if you have this tool, you should be able to make whatever you want. I made this sole plate, which is a absolutely great big wheel sole plate, just using this tool. It took me maybe an hour of work, and as you can see, it fits the Omni perfectly. We will also, final thing, I forgot to add, we will also have a template for your own foam shock pad. So these are a 2mm EVA foam that we put on the inside of each of our sole plates. You can do the same thing with your sole plates. So it will fit on the base of your, slide over there, it will fit on the base of your sole plate. I don't know that we'll have these available. I might be able to talk with our factory and get a bunch of these sent over, but we will have the profile available. So worst case scenario, you'll be able to print it out at home, put it on some EVA foam that you can buy on Amazon or anywhere else. Cut around it, trace around, and then cut around. Cut a couple holes for the UFS mounts, and then tape it on or glue it onto your sole plates. The reason why you want a little EVA foam on the bottom isn't necessarily for shock absorption, it's for sound. So you can hear this sole plate when I put it on. It just, you can hear it, right? If you put the EVA foam on, you just can't hear it. It keeps it from moving, gives a little bit of that creak, gets a little bit rid of a little bit of that creak. Much more pleasing ride. I love a quiet, silent ride. So we're going to do that as well, so that you have access to those three things. You also have bolts and our UFS bolts, access to those if you need them for your for your needs, and the M6 small head bolts so that you can put them on your sole plates as well. Finally, I did mention on an earlier segment, you can skate the Omni without sole plates. So if you want, you can mount a frame directly to the base, and you don't need to have a sole plate at all. This could be a really low profile. So if you were out there and you're interested in making a sole plate that doesn't have a base, you could definitely do this. Using the same files would be easy enough to just use this and cut yourself a hole in the middle. Remove all of that middle UFS mounting stuff and just have like a ring that goes around the side of the frame, or goes around the side of the boot, slaps on, cut yourself an area on the inside, maybe mount it down with the bolts, maybe not. Really curious to see what people come up with that. I love the maker community. I love DIY. I wouldn't be where I am in life, professionally or otherwise, if I didn't have rollerblading when I was in my 20s and an opportunity to create things, to design things. I want to pass that on to the next generation of designers. If you are a designer, standardskate.co, you will be able to find all of the information on our website this weekend. I will put some links at the bottom, probably tomorrow, with a few pictures that I'll take so that you can have a little placeholder for it. And then you'll be able to go there this weekend, and you'll be able to download the first bases for the large shell. Then we will have the extra large shell, and then we'll have the small and the medium shell next week. As we go through this again, please keep communicating. I want to make sure that you have everything that you need to make cool sole plates. I love seeing the creativity out there, and I want to make sure that the Omni is a platform for whatever you want to come up with. If you have some crazy ideas that you're like, I wish the sole plate would have done that, or it would have been great if it did this, do it. Like, show me what you got. You know, this is a good opportunity for you to flex and try something new. We're here to help you. So if there's anything that you need that you don't have, please let us know. You can find all of our contact information at standardskate.co. And thank you for being part of the community. If you have skills that can do this sort of thing, you could be making a lot of money. And I hope that we give you an opportunity to work on those skills, refine those skills, and then hopefully take them to a really prosperous career. But we appreciate you as the rollerblading community coming back, using your skills for good and making cool things for rollerblading, because rollerblading is awesome because we have a great community supporting it. All right. I think that is good for the Omni sole plates. Huge thanks to everybody out there who has supported us. Bunch of people that helped with this project. But I'm really, really excited to get these into your hands. I think that sole plates are hard, and I think that we're giving enough tools and enough stuff that it will make it a lot less hard, but it is still hard. It's much harder to design a sole plate than it is a frame, but a lot of the guesswork will be gone. The most difficult thing for us is just figuring out how does it fit properly, where the UFS bolt's supposed to be, how's the alignment, all of that is gone. All you'll need to do is just come up with a cool idea and then just start tweaking it. All right, I'm gonna take some water and then I will scroll to the top and answer any questions. If you have any questions, I'm doing good on time, so ask away. Would love to answer some questions. I'm sure there's some questions after that last segment. Let me know if you're watching this in the future. Make sure that you leave a comment in the video. Would love to answer your questions. I'm going to get some water. And then I'm going to scroll all the way to the top and see what's going on. All right. Zach Markham. Ground Control had those glow-in-the-dark Jeff Howard wheels. I've seen glow-in-the-dark wheels. I don't know that it works out very well. I haven't heard anything negative on those wheels, but I don't know anybody that skates them that likes them. Like, I don't know that they're a really cool wheel. I think the light-up wheel changed the game. If your wheels aren't embedded with an LED or some sort of a sparking mechanism, then it's kind of like, what are you even doing? Like, why even try? A light-up frame would be pretty awesome. I don't know that I have the time to do that, but I would love to see somebody do that. Light up sole plate. I mean, we've just announced the sole plate system, so you could definitely figure out a way to embed some LEDs in there, some ground effects for your skates. I'm just saying, I have the ideas. You got the toolkit. Get yourself busy. It's a good Christmas project. Brew Mentionator, any plans to do 3D printed colored soles like you do with the Prime Walls, or make soles available aftermarket for future Pro models? Yes. So we do have the sole plates, the Omni sole plates. These are always going to be available aftermarket. So the molded sole plates with the shock pad, they also come with the replacement hardware. So you'll have extra screws and bolts if you need them. They are available now. They are $60 in our shop. We will also have a bunch of them available at shops. So if you wear through your sole plate, you will be able to replace them really easily. We will do everything we can to keep them in stock. New colors, we'll definitely bring in extras when we do new color skates. When we do new color sole plates, we'll have a bunch of extras. I don't know how strong the 3D print soles will be, to be honest. I haven't skated many of them. I would love to experiment with other materials, though. I think a frame has to be strong in the axle area. You know, this is the strength of your skate. It's where the wheels go. It's where the stride happens. It's where all of the edge control happens. This has to be the strongest, which is why aluminum is such a good pick. The strongest piece of equipment on your skate. Sole plate, it's just pass through, you know? You do have to bolt it down for better rigidity and response, but a lot of sole plates just use the UFS because they want a super slick grind. That's all they care about. So I'm really interested in experimenting with different designs, different materials for the sole plate and see what works best. You know, we're using a plastic material here that works really well. Might not be the best material. I don't even know what 3D printed materials are out there, but I'd love to try some new ones too. Great question. Go out of fashion, gout of fashion. Since you had access to production, have you ever thought about designing a one-piece sole plane for the Omni skates? I would love to. What he's talking about is a frame that mixes a sole plate and a frame. So slide it on, and this would be the thing that you would get. So you would buy this, you would slap it on the bottom of your skate, and then you'd be able to have this grind and this frame. I haven't experimented with it yet. There are a few examples of sole frames out there that have been successful. Probably the most successful is the, oh, can I reach them? Oh my God. Oh my God. Fifth Element. So this is probably the best example of a sole frame out there. You can see the boot is this tan material. The base is a single piece. So this sole and this frame are all a single piece. It mounts to the boot using these bolts. And there's these little fins that come down out of the boot that connect to this frame. It is a heavy sumbitch. So I don't know that a sole frame can be made light. I would love to experiment with it. That is one of the projects that I hope to work on in the future. Got to get these skates shipped first, but I would love to design a sole frame. I think that could be really, really interesting, and it hasn't really been done since the Fifth Elements. Don't get me wrong, Kaiser does a lot of things. They do have a sole frame. It works pretty well, I guess, but I would love for a skate company to have a sole frame. I think that's a missing piece that somebody could do really well. Great question. Egon Nab, will the sole plate jig be available on balanced distribution for purchase? We will have these available, this base sole plate, probably available for purchase. I don't know how much they will cost. I will print some out and I will test them out. Some people just like a minimal sole plate, especially if you're doing big wheel. This is a really nice big wheel thing. You don't have the sole area getting in the way. It's a really cool, like slimline is a frame, very slim sole plate. So we'll probably have these available. This jig, you don't really want it. This isn't supposed to really be printed because these holes fit perfectly. There's really, again, this is designed for, it will fit kind of. Like you can see how it moves in. It's designed for use in your 3D files. So you import this model and you stick it into your sole plate, and then it creates this cavity where this was. This is why you want the jig. You don't want this jig for anything else, but you do want these sole plates. I could see this as something that people would like to purchase, and we will definitely look into ways that we can do that. I mean, I printed this one. This took about 20 hours. So we're looking at probably pricing just like frames cost, which was $50, I think, for a pair of frames. So we're probably looking at around $50 for a pair of these soles, which a little less than the molded ones. But yeah, we'll look into it. We'll see what the people want. But I never say no to a good idea. Gaia Kusatu, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Just bought Omni yesterday. I'm hyped to get them. Well, thank you so much for the support. It's taking longer than I would hope to get them here, but every day they're moving forward. So we should have them soon. I will keep everybody posted. standardskate.co/news for the latest and greatest. Thank you for the support, and I hope you like the skates. Eric Lopez, have any of the riders discussed making personalized sole plates? I gotta be honest, every one of the riders absolutely loves the sole plates the way that they are. We've had no complaints on the sole plates whatsoever. We've had some fit issues that we've been working through. We've had some cuff issues that we've been working through. We had, as you know, the riveted cuff issue that we were working through, but nobody has any complaints on the sole plates. They are fast, they are wide, they offer a really good lock. It's hard to get off when you lock on solid. Easy for top sides. It's by far the most dialed in product that I've ever made if it was a standalone product. But the fact that it's part of this whole boot is really something. So I think you're gonna love the sole plates. Future of sole plates, I mean, we'll do colors, of course. I don't know that we'll do custom sole plates or different designs of sole plates, but never say never. I want this to be just the beginning of what standard is going to be. So there's lots of potential out there. Pablo Skates, a 100mm Rockard Aeon style sole frame would be cool. It would be a 100mm Wizard frame with the ride height of a 90mm frame. That would be really cool. I think having a big wheel sole frame makes a lot of sense because the width the lateral flex that you get with big wheels is why you want a 45-degree strap, is why you want aluminum frames, and that's why, you know, most recreational skates come with metal frames. The sole frame could take that out of the equation. Instead of using UFS to mount it, it could mount with the side thingies, the side mounts. So lots of ideas. It is just the beginning. Stay tuned. I will also say that if you buy Omnis now, anything that we do in the future, as far as I can tell, will be backwards compatible. So the Omnis that you buy today should be compatible with anything that we release in the next few years. Mr. Jaws 96, I missed most of your live stream. When will the skates ship out, if you mentioned that at all? We are in assembly now. We are waiting on the wheels. The wheels are leaving Korea. They left yesterday. They are on their way to China. They should be there by Monday. and then they should be assembling the wheels. We should be done with assembly next week. That is our goal. It takes about 2 weeks to get to the port in Long Beach, so say 3 weeks, and then we are shipping direct from Long Beach to the shops. So we're paying a little bit more to do a expedited distribution instead of just having everything delivered to my warehouse and then us ship. We're shipping directly from port, so they're going to get the container, ship all the boxes directly out to the shops. So if you're on the West Coast, Roller Warehouse and Intuition should have their skates first, and then a few days later we'll have our skates out here as well as Oak City. If you're outside of the US, I don't know what the shipping will be like. They will probably get them before we will. Depends on how quickly they ship and how they get their imports. I don't know, but I'm working with the international shops to get them quickly. So we're talking about January, end of January, maybe beginning of February, worst case scenario, but it shouldn't be long now. Ruby, hey Ruby, Compass frames were the first interchangeable frames we got. Also just wanted to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever you may celebrate. Thank you so much. We do celebrate Christmas here. I hope that you have a good holiday as well. Compass frames are great. That was the first frame that we made with this new factory. And it's the first frame that I designed since coming back into blading, using 3D printing as our test bed. So it was really the first frame that I designed using what we do now, modern technology. And I mean, I'm so happy with the way that they've been received. It was a product that a lot of shops said they don't need because they already have frames. Why would they need a plastic frame that does big wheels, you know? And I'm like, well, you know, it's cost effective. The plastic feels great when you're skating, and we can sell them, you know, as a ready to roll setup for $150, and that's a great price. And they were like, all right. And they sell a lot of them. So I'm really happy with that product, and I'm glad that you guys liked it. Zach Markham, Sola had an all aluminum sole frame. Sola, I think Kaiser did. Did Sola have one? I know Sola had their aluminum frames. They had 80 millimeter, 90 millimeter, and then they had obviously their street frames, the 60 millimeter, and then the Joe Atkinson 60-65. I don't know about a sole frame though. I know that either Kaiser or USD had one. They put on the USD carbons, I think. I think they could have done better with that design. It just didn't feel really like a sole plate. It felt like they took a flat plane and then they put a frame on it. I would love to see something like the Fifth Element where it wraps around and it looks like it's part of the skate. I think that is the future. Honestly, the Them 80 is a really good example of a sole frame. It mounts directly to their boot, uses the existing mounting points. It has a frame attached to a sole plate. It's not designed for grinds, and that's fine. But I think that is the first modern day sole frame that we have, technically. Al Delega, the fifths are heavy because they have so much unnecessary material and those extra 3 axles for mounting to the boot. Properly designed sole frame would be lighter than UFS. I think so too. Only one way to find out, Al. Only one way to find out. Warlock skating, do you think the Omnis should be okay with 90 millimeter to 100 millimeter wheels? Yes, I've skated them with 90s and I haven't had any issues. We have skated them with 80s with no sole frame. We haven't had any issues. The sole frame is only going to make them more solid. So I definitely think 90s are absolutely fine. 100s I haven't skated yet. I do need to get some NR100s to test them out. Whatever they're releasing in January 1st, if there's a new NR100 coming January 1st, I'll probably pick it up. I think it's their skate, but whatever it is. I'm going to wait until January 1st and then hopefully Grandma gave me some money so I can spend it on a NR100 frame. Ravenous Pathogen, make the Omni boot in full carbon and I'll be one of the first to buy. I do think that carbon is in our future, but I'm really happy that we started with the plastic. It is a much more flexible as in use and flexible as in fit boot. I love carbon boots. I absolutely found my groove with skating with carbon boots. I would love to make a carbon boot, but I need to find that use case. And I think that for aggressive skating, for urban skating, the plastic boots that we have are amazing. You're going to love them. Maybe when we get to a point where we're doing wizardy stuff or skate, like big transition stuff, that's when a carbon boot would come in. I'm not there yet, though. I do have plans, though, so stay tuned. I do think that you'll like the plastic ones, though. Lace maneuvers, will there be standard jeans caps and other blading accessories? I can't say anything for jeans. Jeans are a difficult one because everybody's a different size. Unless we did different waist sizes and then went long and then had people hem them at home, it's really hard to offer, a dozen different size breakdowns of jeans. And they're very expensive. It's hard to beat jeans pricing that you can get from Old Navy or Levi's or Gap or something like that. Or Dickies. A lot of people wear Dickies. I wear jeans. I try not to pay more than $50 for a pair of jeans because I work in them. I get dirty and I don't want to ruin a nice pair of jeans. So that is hard to beat. If we were selling to shops would want to pay, maybe we get our jeans for $60, say $60, maybe even 80. Let's go high. Let's say skaters are okay with paying $80 for a pair of jeans. That would mean we would need to sell to shops for $40 at a minimum. That means that we would need our jeans to cost us $20 to make. That's hard to do, especially at the scale that we're at. I don't think we would make more than, maybe 100 pair of jeans. It's really hard to do. So we'll look into it eventually. I would love more clothing, definitely headwear, soft goods, shirts over like jackets, things like that. I would love to do stuff like that. It is in the plan. So just need these stupid skates to get here. Pablo skates. I don't think of them. 80 really takes full advantage of the sole frame though by allowing the wheels to get as close to the boot as possible. You're right. It's just the only modern example that we have of a sole frame, I think. It's so close, but it's just not quite where it needs to be, in my opinion. SSJ Skates, do you plan on bringing back the 50/50 camper hats? We might. They sold really well, so we'll see. I think I'd love to do another hat. I really like that hat, so we'll see what we can do. That was, I still have one. I wear it whenever I go out to Disney. It's my I'm out in the sun in Florida hat to keep my bald head from frying. So yes, I think we will. Stay tuned, probably summer. Brew Mentionator, will you do full Pro models like with the Pro's frames and possibly their wheels as well, or is that too hard to work with the other companies? Thankfully, I have pretty good relationships with some of the companies that these guys ride for. So both Yandi and Stefan ride for 50/50 in Chroma, so it's pretty easy for me to get frames and wheels made at a reasonable price. Brian, I don't know if he has a current frame sponsor or wheel sponsor. I would love to support though. We've done Pro model bundles in the past. We did John's and Chad's with his red eye wheels. We've done Chris's with his prime frames and his red eye wheels. We did Stefan's with S9 bearings. So we do what we can to support other sponsors. It's important to us that we, lift all of the other brands up when we do something really cool, and we want everybody involved. I would love to do that with the Pro Skates as well. Mr. Darren 25, if you do decide to make a carbon boot, make it with a plastic toe cap for wear and tear. That was one of the few things K2 got right. Yes, toes with leather is bad. So something that will hold up to falling down is definitely in the cards. And I think carbon, the problem with carbon is you can't just have carbon. You can, you look at Adapt, but I get worried about skating those skates because I fear like I will fall and just destroy that carbon. If you have a skin to your carbon skate, you fall down, you rip the skin. And that's a little worrisome for me. With plastic boots, you just scrape it up and that's not a big deal. That doesn't cost a ton to replace. And, scrapes and, dirt and stuff on the side of boots gives it character. When you have a nice polished, clean skin and you've got dirt and scrapes, it doesn't look great. Pablo Skates, last question. Could you see yourself ever doing a Rosie style memory buckle? Sure. The buckles on the Omni are just generic locking buckles, plastic locking buckles. Are these the ones with the screws? Yeah, so these are the ones with the screws. This is the latest. Nothing special about them. They're plastic. They're locking so they don't fall apart on you. They should last a long time, but they're a buckle. They're nothing that we're super proud of. It is a piece of equipment that we use that we like. I would love to make our own buckle. It'll happen someday. It's going to take some time. I don't really know what a good buckle is yet. I like the memory buckles, but I also don't like the memory buckles because sometimes I like to adjust how tight things are. And if you never do that, the memory buckle is perfect. If you adjust the tightness, the memory buckle can be a little bit finicky. But never say never. We want to offer some options. So we'll see what people like and we will make what they want. All right. I think I am good. 10:53. Horrible start to the show. It feels like it ended up pretty good. Hope the stream kind of did okay after the fiasco in the first 20 minutes. Don't know what was going on. I'm going to troubleshoot that this week and see if I can isolate the problem, what happened. It might be the internet. It might be YouTube. I assume that my stream, what the frames that I'm dropping are me sending to YouTube, not necessarily YouTube getting them. I don't have a console on YouTube that tells me how many frames I'm dropping. So I assume that it's on my side, so I will do some troubleshooting on my network. Thank you for bearing with me on that. Hope that everybody has a great Christmas if you celebrate. Hope you have a great New Year. Everybody out there should be aware of the year ending, and I hope that you have a great New Year. Be safe New Year's Eve. It is important that you take care of yourself. Make sure that if you have a little to drink, it is absolutely great to let loose and have a great time at a New Year's Eve party. Make sure that you are responsible. You get an Uber to get yourself home. Please do not drive a car if you are a little tipsy because you could hurt yourself, you could hurt others. We don't want that. Hope that you are able to spend some time over this next couple of weeks if you're not working or if you have some days off to out there and skate. It is a cold time to skate, but if you have a dry opportunity, bundle up a little bit, get your helmet on, and just go out there and skate. This is a great opportunity to go out and just do your thing. If you can find some dry area, work on some flatland stuff, do some slides, work on your edge control, get some big wheels, and do like Drew and get back into the three turns. I want to see more people out there skating versus just jumping on rails. I think there's a good balance that we can have, and you can still have a really good time skating, regardless of what you're doing. As always, appreciate you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully everything goes smoothly the next couple of weeks, and I'll have a big update for Standard next time I see you. But until then, I hope that you are doing well. Have a great evening, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.